ML asks, I'm trying to choose between the Boxer Crush, the Jumper T15, or the T20 as an upgrade from my Light Radio 3. So good news, I agree that all of those are an upgrade from the Light Radio 3. I would say that hang on a second. Boxer is my daily driver radio. It was the first radio, well, the first modern radio. Like the QX7 had a similar form factor, so don't say first. It was the first modern radio with this form factor, which I think is a really nice form factor. It's a little bit smaller than the T16. It has fewer, it doesn't have like as many switches and knobs. So if you need like all the switches and knobs in the world, this isn't the radio for you, but most people don't. I really like the ergonomics of this radio, and it's small, but not so small that I feel like if you give me something like the Radiomaster Zorro, it feels like really small, and I kind of don't like it. I want to feel like I'm holding an RC controller, not like an Xbox controller. But not everybody feels that way, but I do. Downside of this radio is no big color screen, okay? And by the way, the Boxer Crush, it's basically just a custom color on the Boxer. So the Boxer Crush it's a standard Boxer with AGO1 gimbals, which is a nice upgrade. It doesn't have the metal buttons of the Boxer Max Pro. That's okay. And it comes in at kind of a middle price point. The AGO1 gimbals, I think, are a nice upgrade, not a mandatory upgrade. They do have a really nice premium feel, and I have come to really appreciate them. Just a cosmetic upgrade. You don't have to get it in hot pink. I just selected hot pink because it's the most obnoxious color that they had, and that's what I feel like doing. T20. T20 is, in my opinion, one of the best compact radios you can get today. You go with something like a Radiomaster Zorro. Oh, hang on. Yeah, buddy. That's why I keep all these radios even though I don't use them, because the ability to pull them out during a demo is really handy. Radiomaster Zorro, nice compact radio. One of the better ones. Still has the smaller gimbals, though. Of the compact radios, I think this is one of my favorites. It's big enough that the ergonomics still feel pretty good to me. It does have smaller gimbals, though, and doesn't have quite as many switches as some people would want. Whereas the T20 has all the frickin' switches in the world. So many switches. You're not really giving up anything with the T20 in terms of the number of switches and knobs you have. Full-size gimbals, although not like the ultra-premium AGO1 gimbals, so do you care? In terms of, it's not going to make you like a worse pilot, but it doesn't have quite the same feel. And, oh my god, look, the tiniest frickin' screen in the world. So, like, you can use it, but it's a little annoying. Now we come to the T15. And unfortunately, I can't power the T15 on because I need 21700 batteries. I had to order some. That's why you haven't seen me review this yet. I sat down to review this the other day and was like, oh, I don't have any 21700 cells, so I had to order 21700 cells. But it has a color touchscreen. So basically, the T15 is a radio that is essentially the exact same size as the Boxer. Not quite, but pretty freaking close as the Boxer, but with a color touchscreen, which, whoa, that's exciting. Doesn't have the AGO1 gimbals, doesn't have the premium metal CNC gimbals. Again, that's not going to like make the difference between you being a good pilot and you being a bad pilot, but you know, in terms of the flight feel, you know, sometimes it's like, I like to say that leather seats in your car won't make you a better driver. But sometimes you just like getting in your car and you're like, ooh, leather. And people pay a premium for leather seats, you know? So that's like the analogy I make for the AGO1 gimbals. They won't make you a better pilot, but... can you just pop out the bay? Does it pop out? No, it doesn't. I don't think it pops out. Does it pop out? Oh, it... Shut up. Oh my god. It just slides out. It looked to me like it was permanently affixed. It looked to me like it was glued in there, and I didn't want to break the damn thing. It just pops out. All right, well, I feel stupid. Thanks, Joseph Dahari. I feel stupid for not thinking of that. Okay, fair enough. It was well disguised. Like, I don't know if you can see this, but the wire is tucked underneath here, so you can't easily see that it's just a battery plug. That's my, yeah. And if you were wondering, does Bardwell, like, watch other people's reviews before he reviews a product so he can, like, cheat? Well, now you can see the answer is no, because if I'd have watched anyone else's review, I'm sure I would have seen that. Anyway, moving on. So I think the T15, in terms of, like, it's similar to the Boxer in terms of the switches. In fact, I think it's exactly the same in terms of the switches you got. Looks like they have knockouts here. Can you add additional switches up here? I mean, what else could these knockouts be for except additional switches? Maybe they have a plug inside for how to do that. It looks very similar to the Boxer in terms of its functionality, but with a color touchscreen, but not quite as good at gimbals. So here's what I would say. If you want the most compact radio with the most switches, and you don't care about the tiny screen, T20. There's even a version of the T20 that has Gemini on board. In my opinion, the Boxer has the best build quality and the most sort of premium feel. Like, nothing about the Boxer to me feels cheap, especially the gimbals. And but you're going to have this smaller screen. And then the T15, it feels a little cheaper than the Boxer. And historically, Jumper's build quality hasn't been quite as good as Radio Master's. There have been no major defects in a while, though. It just hasn't quite been there. I like the folding antenna on the Jumper. I've broken my Boxer antenna several times, stuffing it in a backpack, and I kind of wish there was a nice folding antenna. But the thing is, like, this is a really high-quality antenna. I don't know what's in here. It's probably a PCB. It probably doesn't have quite as good a range. I don't know. The T15, though, has that nice color touchscreen and a nice form factor. And what I predict that, like, the T15 is such an obviously good move that, like, I predict that in the next 6 months, Radio Master will have a Boxer-type radio with a big screen, like the T15. And so I would be tempted to wait for that one because you'll get it with the AG01 gimbals and the, like, slightly more premium build quality. But obviously, it's your decision. It's your money that you're spending today. Okay, now I have like a million radios out, and I'm just going to kind of lay them on the floor and see if I step on them later accidentally. Hopefully, I won't.